Okay, here we are again, and we are at Pine Creek Canyon. John and Greg, myself, and I'll just take a look at it. It's the second week in May, and Las Vegas temperatures are predicted to get to about 95. So we're going to see what these canyons are like. But one thing about John and Greg is that they're canyon guys. Now I'm a person that likes to descend to the Rainbow Mountains from the Rainbow Mountain Upper Crest Ridgeline, which is up there behind Mescalito Pyramid. I like to do those long distance things and descend to the mountains. And when we were at Bridge Mountain the other day, John and Greg could only keep looking down at the canyons and talking about the canyons. They're definitely canyon guys, and I'm glad because I'm not a canyon guy. They're going to introduce me to the other way to get to the Rainbow Mountain peaks, which is the most traditional way, is going up these canyons. And right here, Pine Creek Canyon and Mescalito Pyramids in the middle. We've got Bridge Mountain to the right and Rainbow Mountain and Rainbow Wall to the left, and Juniper Peak right there in the middle. So I'm going to let John and Greg explain what we're going to do today. They got some kind of canyon route that I do not understand.
Well, for the route, as you can see, Mescalito and Juniper Peak up there. We're going to take the South Fork of Pine Creek straight towards Pine Creek Peak, which is in the back there. Once the canyon will split again, we're going to take the South Fork there, so it's really like the South Fork. And we'll continue all the way to Terrace Canyon, which I think is kind of the heart of Red Rock. And then we'll go up halfway up Terrace Canyon, then take a left to I guess a tributary of Terrace Canyon called Hidden Canyon. And then we'll pop up a class 3 chimney / rabbit hole. As usual, we got to get Dave in at least one of those. And then we'll head up some slab, head up a wall. And once we get up the wall, we'll have a little loose area. And then right when we get to the top of that, we'll start the fun chutes and cracks all the way up to Rainbow Wall.
Okay, and by fun chutes and cracks, what do you mean?
I mean steep and exposed. No, some just good, engaging, scrambling.
Okay, so these are not life-threatening cracks and chutes.
I guess if you jumped off, yeah, but
okay,
you'll be all right. It won't be as bad as that one exposed part on Bridge.
That's good.
But it's been a few years since I've been up there, but I remember it being quite handleable.
Okay, awesome. Greg, do you have any great words for us?
Yeah, I just follow John, but anyway, really looking forward to the hike. I've always thought that this wall we're going to is one of the most spectacular sights in the whole area. So really excited about getting up close and on top.
Awesome. Okay, let's go for it.
All right.
Okay, here's the Fire Ecology Trail. Cool little trail in Red Rock Canyon, and it's a little loop. Anyway, we are on the main Pine Creek Canyon Trail right now and heading up toward Pine Creek Canyon. You can see Mescalito Pyramid in the center. People actually climb that. That's just amazing. And another very popular climb here where I see rock climbers is the base of Bridge Mountain and the cliffs. Those cliffs are very popular with rock climbers. And then, of course, the cliffs of Rainbow Mountain and Rainbow Wall. And definitely this takes a lot of experience and extreme climbing gear. Okay, here we are at a split in the trail. The split to the right is up the north branch of Pine Creek Canyon. Pine Creek Canyon is divided by Mescalito Pyramid in the center, and the south branch is to the left. We're taking the south branch today, and you've got Juniper Peak on one side and Mescalito Pyramid on the other. So what John is going to tell us about is this north branch at this point. We're not taking it today, but we're going to find out what it would be like should we take the north branch. So John, take it away.
Okay, yeah, so we'll just take a right here, and we'll follow the trail. And actually it goes around. You can't see it, but you want to stay on the right and stay on the trail, because you can get a pretty easy, nice, smooth trail all the way pretty deep into the Fern Canyon, which is the North Fork of Pine Creek. The North Fork of Pine Creek goes all the way to that big wall in the back. Greg and I have been up there. It's a common route to, you could go to the north route to Mescalito. You could do Bridge Point or Bridge Mountain, both great hikes. So now those are more scrambles, you know, the hikers can do. There's also a lot of rock climbs back here, and actually this trail, when you finally do drop into Fern Canyon, you drop in at the base of a very popular climb called Dark Shadows, which is on the north side of Mescalito there.
Okay, where does Dark Shadow go?
To the peak of Mescalito.
Oh, so can you class 3 the peak of Mescalito from that direction?
No.
So we got class 4.
No, Dark Shadows is a climbing route. It's like a rope climbing route.
Okay.
The north route to Mescalito is definitely not class 3. It has class 3 on it, but there's definitely some class 4 areas.
And so you can actually go up this north branch of Pine Creek Canyon and then work your way up to Bridge Mountain.
Yes.
Okay. And how does that compare to Bridge Mountain from above as far as difficulty level?
It's significantly harder.
Okay. So you're looking at
because you're doing a whole canyon battle, and it just puts you in the same exact spot. It takes longer. You get put in the exact same spot you're going to be if you did do it from behind, which is more of just a straight hike with really no obstacles, whereas this is a lot of obstacles.
Do you have any class 4s?
I think it's rated class 3, but when Greg and I did it, I mean, you could easily find class 4. I mean, if you're off route just a little bit. So I would say there's definitely 3+, 4. There's some exposed ledges you got to walk around. You got to traverse across a real slanted, exposed into nothingness type.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's some good stuff. On the way to, there's a class 4 area called the Black Wall going to Bridge Point, which is very committing wall. And definitely class 4.
Okay. So that's the north branch, the right branch of this trail, the north branch of Pine Creek Canyon. What we're going to do, what is the next thing we're going to experience here on the south?
Well, we're going to drop down in the wash here for about 100 yards. Then we're going to pop back out on the right and follow some rabbit trails back so we don't have to fight through bouldering through a wash. We can avoid some of that and make the trip faster. And then, but once we drop into the wash for good, we're going to be in there for a while.
And are we going to be walking in the water?
No. I mean,
Okay.
unless you mess up.
Okay. That's what I did last time I was here. I
Yeah,
ended up getting my feet wet.
yeah.
Okay.
Want to avoid that.
Okay. Awesome. Okay, a few more names have come to mind here. This is, I guess, Birdland. Birdland Buttress.
I don't know.
Okay, we're not sure.
Just
And
birdland as far as I'm.
straight back up the north branch of Pine Creek Canyon, that's Paiute Wall. Okay, here we are at the south branch of Pine Creek Canyon. You're looking at the base of Mescalito Pyramid on this side and Juniper Peaks on this side. And just to get to this point, we did a lot of weaving around. It's not like a clear trail, and I think there's more weaving to do. One thing that we want to miss, if possible, is down in Pine Creek. We don't want to get our feet wet and then end up walking on smooth rocks with wet feet. But we'll see if we can accomplish all that. So, John, tell us about what we've just done and what we're going to do.
Well, we found our way through the above head high brush. Seems like a little brushier maybe after this, this spring than it has been in the past few years. Which is nice. It's pretty back there. Kind of feels like going through a maze. And now we're deciding whether to drop into Pine Creek here or keep going. Sometimes it becomes more work than worth it to stay out of the wash. As far as getting wet in the wash, I'm not really worried about it because we've never gotten wet in there before, and I'm sure we've been in there in worse conditions. So, as far as water levels, and there's always workarounds.
Okay, so we've got Pine Creek down below, and we are above right now, and all that maze that John was talking about, we were always on a trail, and it's just the reason it's a maze is that there were a whole lot of branching trails, and the best guide to get to this point is just hug the edge of Mescalito Pyramid here. And we are on the almost the most upper trail. There are some break-off trails that seem to go even higher, but a lot of them will lead to a cliff edge, and they're climbers trails. And so rock climbers will begin scaling these cliffs at the end of some of these trails. So the trick is to stay on the trail that's going to go through for those of us who are not interested in climbing the cliffs, but just want to get up the canyon. So continuing on.
It's a lot less of a jump than if you went the way I went.
Okay. Pine Creek. Okay, curiously, our feet are still dry. But then again, if it was March or April, instead of the second week in May, all bets are off. You might be wading in the water here. So you've seen Pine Creek in both directions. Here's Mescalito Pyramid. And here we are heading up Pine Creek Canyon still. Now we're in the brush and boulders, as you can see, all around. And there's Juniper Peak area. Wow, a nice open, beautiful area after having slogged through a few boulders, some brush, and jumped over creek water down here. But look at this. This is just amazing. Beautiful area as we continue to ascend. Look at this. Wow. I have not been this far up Pine Creek Canyon. As you can see.
That's the start of Pine Creek Peak right there.
Ah.
I mean, that's not the peak itself, but the peak's behind it. But that's where the canyon splits again to the south-south fork to the left, or the Mescalito fork to the right.
Okay. So Pine Creek Peak and Mescalito Pyramid. And then where we've come through, and it's been a matter of navigating brush and boulders, but even after a wet winter, see how high the water got over here. Even after a wet winter, our feet are still dry, and the brush isn't really that bad. Beautiful ponderosa pine. Well, I can see how you'd fall in love with these canyons. So, I'm already a believer.
I just saw a snake.
What kind?
I know, it's black with a yellow stripe down each side of it.
Okay.
Maybe about 3 feet long.
Mescalito Pyramid. This is a pretty open, easy section. Snakehead's probably long gone. Okay, let's continue on. Okay. As you can see, weave your way around the boulders here, as Greg is doing. Find the path of least resistance, and usually one opens up. Okay, my turn. Hey, here's a little narrow section. Beautiful rocks above, to the left, to the right, and boulders below. Does not get better than this. Wow. Yeah, once you get past the lower brush area, and we may not be there yet, the canyon opens up a bit, and it is just incredible. A lot of figuring out which way to go among lots of different directions, possible routes. But just think about it, look at each one, maybe go down one. If it doesn't work, turn around and go up the next.
This is a packless climb.
Yeah, this is a take your pack off spot.
Yep, no packs allowed.
Little.
Even if you can do it, no packs allowed.
Okay. The pack police will get after us.
Darcy came through the thing.
Yeah, because I picked her up.
Oh, I thought.
Our friend's dog made it all the way up this,
Huh.
all the way up to the top of Gunsight Notch Peak.
Probably easier than we are.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I think we're slipping all over the place.
Okay, there goes Greg. And
There you go.
look at that.
Good job, Greg.
Yep.
Like a pro.
You can send your kid or your dog or anyone up that little stretch. Okay, my turn.
Yep.
Here we are continuing up the next stretch of the canyon. Yeah, it continues to look a little more open, but some of the boulders are getting a little challenging, like this one we just came up. Kind of shinnying up the branch you see here and squeezing up the boulder. But it worked, and heading onward and upward. Okay, here we are heading up another level, and this whole canyon has been basically a series of levels, and you've got some boulder climbing to get from one level to the next, and then you're on the next level, evens out for a little while, and wow, look above us. Cliffs everywhere. Got a special landmark to show you in just a moment. Trying to look upward without falling back. Yeah. And okay, that special thing I was going to tell you about is this is called the UFO rock. UFO boulder. And in part because it looks like a UFO. Another thing is if you fall off the top, you become a UFO. Okay, I just heard John say my favorite words. Do you remember this? Wow, look at this. I believe the canyon is going to weave around to the left, just at the base of what looks like an impassable cliff wall ahead. Beautiful stretch. There's a rising sun, as it's rising at this point in the canyon. Okay, onward. This whole canyon is quite the full body workout, so you definitely want to have some good upper body strength because you're going to be climbing over lots of boulders all the way up. Here's a fun little ledge Greg's on right now.
Go ahead.
There he goes. John has done it. It's not a life-threatening exposure of a slope below, but it's a fun little ledge to keep your balance. I remember what I said about the canyon turning before it hits this wall, and there's the turn, and you see, wow, it gets pretty narrow up there, and you can almost bet that anytime a canyon gets narrow, the boulders become more clogged in that canyon, and there's a bit of scrambling ahead. We'll see when we get there. Continuing up the canyon, we've rounded that corner. Wow, look what's ahead. This might be like the ridges above. You don't know what your next move is. You can't see the route ahead until you round the next corner. But wow, this is just majestic. Combination of majestic cliffs, beautiful, almost bonsai placed pines, desert holly, juniper. Okay, continuing onward. Okay, here's a good example. What I said about going up levels. Level down there. Climb to the next level, which we are on. Then it evens out for a little while. And then continuing up level by level up the boulders. There have been a few tight bouldering climbs so far that I've had to take my backpack off, which is a pretty big backpack anyway. A few squeezes. Look at what's above us. We'll get a better look ahead. Okay, here's the next stretch, and you can actually see the Rainbow Mountains upper Crest Ridgeline in the horizon. And I've got a video on Las Vegas area trails where I'm standing on that ridgeline, having reached it from above and behind in Level Canyon.
Okay, so for the ridge route to Pine Creek Peak, you actually you climb a little farther up over here. You climb up under that cave there that's kind of shadowed. It's kind of not really a cave, but
Cove, overhang.
Yeah, overhang. And you keep going, traversing this way until you get to that red patch there. And
Oh, you're traversing to the right from the
right,
cove.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you climb that crack that looks really steep there to that next kind of cave-ish ledge thing. You walk under it, and then you go
Oh my gosh.
out, and then you eventually get up on the ridge, and then you walk the entire ridge, climbing everything that gets in your way, all the way back to the peak, which is all the way back there, that red peak in the back there. And then the way down is you just go down to the South Fork of Pine Creek and boulder your way all the way out.
What's the name of that peak?
Which one? The one I was just talking about?
Yeah, the one.
Pine Creek Peak.
Okay, that's Pine Creek Peak. And did we see that from Bridge Mountain?
Yes.
Okay. So look at the Bridge Mountain video. You'll see all of this looking down. Now, where is that Yoga Peak?
We can't see it.
Okay. But is it, it's just over the
peak, then another north. It's
okay, over the ridge.
It's on the other side of the canyon.
Okay. Okay, well, thank you. Okay, now we've reached the divide. The peak ahead is the start of Terrace Peak Canyon, and I'll trace the video up Terrace Creek Canyon, and the high point you see on the horizon is the Rainbow Mountains Upper Crest Ridgeline above the Rainbow Mountain Saddle.
We got to make sure to find that connector wash. What's that? We're going to be running into that connector wash too.
Okay, there you have it. And then just to see where this canyon goes and what it looks like from all sides. There's the north side of the canyon, north wall. That'd be the Bridge Mountain direction. There's down the canyon. And again, this is the north or the South Fork of Pine Creek Canyon. Beautiful rock formations here all the way along. Onward. Okay, here we are. John's going to point out some new sights here.
Okay. So you look at that. See that tall pine tree, that super tall ponderosa right there, Dave?
Yes.
Okay, so now you can't really see it, but if you look diagonally down from it, there's another ponderosa pine that's about maybe a quarter of its height. And you know when you see those two trees, that's the exact entrance into Gunsight Canyon.
Ah.
So, which is the route, if you want to take Gunsight Notch Canyon all the way up, you'll hit Gunsight Notch Peak, which is in the middle there. A little lower in the... You see what I'm talking about?
Yeah, there's two peaks, and there's one on the left, one on the right.
Yeah, the one on the left.
Okay.
And there's, like, in the saddle between the two peaks, there's those two pine trees.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, so the peak on the left of the pine trees is Gunsight Peak, and then the one on the right is, it might be Rainbow Wall or Walk-Up Wall. I don't know for sure. It's hard to tell from this angle. But the Terrace Canyon and Gunsight Canyon is very steep and really, really pretty. I mean...
Okay. Now if that's Walk-Up Wall, does that mean you can actually climb that wall?
You can. There's
Looks
a route
pretty
in the
steep.
back, Class 4 route.
Oh, okay.
Well, yeah, it is Class 4. But you go from Gunsight and you cross, not the peak, but the actual Gunsight Notch, which is probably where those two pine trees are that I was showing you. And then there's a way across. You can get to Rainbow Wall, Walk Up Wall that way as well.
Okay. Very good. And then when you're on top of that, you just walk along the ledge up there,
Yes.
the ridge. And you end up on the Rainbow Mountains Upper Crest Ridgeline at that point?
No, that's that way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's the other way. That's the way we're going.
Yeah, that we're looking east right now.
Okay, got it.
It's easy to get turned around in here because there's so much tall
Oh, yeah.
foliage and scrub oak and usually a bunch of leaves down your shirt by this time.
Ashy Silk Tassel right ahead. And then we're heading up this area. What's up there?
Terrace Canyon.
Okay, so what are we doing now?
We're going straight. We're maybe 15 minutes away to entering Terrace Canyon,
Okay.
which I think is like the heart of Red Rock. It's very pretty back there. I don't know. My friend Sylvia and I were back there one time and we were in snow flurries. It was amazing. But it definitely takes work to get there. And route finding the first time for sure.
Going straight up.
Yes. I just don't think this tree was here last time.
No, it's broken.
So we're gonna run it.
Yeah.
Okay, here we are in Terrace Canyon. Things have really opened up. Looks totally beautiful. Okay, this is my version of a GoPro. I'll try to hold the phone steady, but wow. Heading up Terrace Canyon. Look at this. Just too amazing. Okay, Greg, John, tell us what's next.
We are going to continue up these terrace steps up to where those kind of big trees are in the middle. Then we'll probably eat some lunch. And then we're going to head to the left up a tributary called Hidden Canyon. It's pretty short. We'll get up there, then there's a chimney climb, and then we're going to head up some slab, up a moss-covered wall. And at the top of that, there's a little loose area. Then we'll be going up the chutes to Rainbow Wall.
Okay, and where do we cross over to Oak Creek Canyon?
Not until we're up at Rainbow Wall.
Okay.
There's a frog over here making some noise. Oh,
Turn around and get a picture, David.
he's swimming underwater. He almost made me fall.
He's looking down the canyon.
I'd like to hear what you say. I was just pointing something out. I didn't know if it was right or not.
It looked good.
That's good.
Doesn't feel good.
I tell you, these slabs are better than the ones on Sandstone Canyon.
And definitely you can see why they call it Terrace Canyon. And this is where David changes to his Spider-Man rock climbing shoes. Okay, from this point, part way up Terrace Canyon, see the little pools below and the terrace structure of the canyon going down, and then the majestic walls rising up on either side. Then a little surprise tucked away up in this spot is a little cactus garden. Pretty amazing. Yeah, it's like we're in a whole different climate zone from below. Gets a lot more sun here. There's John and Greg.
Dave, if you look against this wall here, there's a crack that goes all the way up, and that's the route to Terrace Canyon Peak.
Okay, so that crack goes up to Terrace Canyon Peak. Wow. Bit of an echo here. And you see a little water still flowing.
I think there's always water flow, or at least water in here.
Probably why they call it the Spring Mountains. Yeah, I definitely don't try to go up that water because there's a lot of moss there. Little frogs. Little Terrace Canyon toads in these pools and hopping around the rocks. Okay, it looks like we're ready to head up the next stretch. Here we go. Next section, narrow and slick.
You okay, David?
I'm good. Yeah, just wedge yourself in that little wedgy area. So here we go. Oh, by the way, if I sound a little bit out of breath, I am, due to it doesn't look like so much climbing from below, but yeah, it is very much of an incline. Wow. Looking back down. And some of this, if it's shiny and blue, like up there, even rock climbing shoes don't hold on that. It's like an ice skating rink. Okay, onward. Okay, John's sending down a webbing. This is one tight little spot here. Wow, here comes the webbing. So we're gonna take my backpack up first, and then I'm gonna find a way to crawl. Yeah, the pack needs to come up first.
No, I thought we had it already for some reason.
Wish me luck. And we just came up this, and that wall on the left is as slick as marble. So had to wedge ourselves in the crack down here even to get to this point. So, okay, here we go upward. Okay, unlike Greg and John, who did that chimney I showed you a moment ago, I got to the base of that chimney and just could not find, I couldn't see how I could get up that chimney. So, guess what I did? I came up this bush section. A lot of bushwhacking. Got a few little cuts and bruises along the way. But wow, if I had to do it all over again, I would have done the same thing. Forget the chimney. Unless, I guess if you're an accomplished climber, or at least you're more experienced like Greg and John, go ahead and do the chimney. Okay, now I'm going to show you the route we're taking. We're heading up to the edge of the cliff ahead, the left edge. We're going around the left edge. And then behind, evidently, it will be a little easier than it looks from in front. And that's what John and Greg say. And so we'll circle around behind that cliff and continue onward. Okay. Okay. Up we go. The next stretch. Toward that cliff. And then around the left side. Okay, yeah. This looked a lot easier looking up from below. But wow, coming up this slab was definitely an exciting little venture, and there's still more to go. Okay, look from a little further up. Yes, out of breath. Going up the side of the mountain here. There's Greg up ahead. That's my next point. And just look around. Surrounded by cliffs and ledges. There's the Rainbow Mountains, upper Crest Ridgeline. Okay, let's continue up. Tell us, John, what we're looking at.
Okay. Well, straight here, the pointy one there is Gunsight Notch Peak. And then rolling left, we've got Bridge Point, which is the one you see from the scenic loop. In the middle there is Bridge Vista. Then the Bridge Dome that we were on last week, right around there. You can kind of see the tips of the trees of the hidden forest here. Yeah, everything's so. This all the way over this red peak here is Pine Creek Peak. And then if you go a little farther right is Yoga Peak, a little higher up. Now, going back left, almost all the way around there to the next red peak is part of Terrace Canyon Peak. I don't know if that's not I don't know if that's a summit you sit on, but it's right there.
At Terrace Canyon Peak. That looks like the upper Crest Ridgeline up there.
Yep.
And so we are traversing straight across, and then we go around the left side of that cliff above Gunsight Notch.
You see that first pine tree right there?
Yes.
We go up to there, and then to the left, and then we'll be on Rainbow Wall. There's like a nice scramble like wall, and then there's a little kind of loose area, and then it shoots and cracks up the Rainbow Wall.
Okay.
Then we'll be going down after that.
So we go down here and then around.
Yeah, you don't have to. I think you can stay up high, but that feels kind of exposed and just
very steep, so might as well just go down and then up. It's not any slower.
Okay, traversing across this ledge here, and you see John up ahead. Somewhere up there.
He's almost to the tree.
There we go. Yeah, so we got a little traversing to do here. Greg is guiding the way now. I'm counting on you, Greg.
You're in trouble now.
Don't say that. No joking allowed. Rainbow Mountains, upper Crest Ridgeline. Green Ridge up there. Bridge Mountain. And yeah, there's the hidden forest area right in the center. And then a little to the left is that ridge. It would look vertical when we were on it. So following Greg. Okay, here we are at another point. Oh my gosh, look at this. Just came up this. Okay, Greg and John going up. And a quick look at where we are, if I can find a stable spot to stand on. Yeah, you're right. We did come up this. Oh, full body workout, exhausted. And you can see the canyon down below. There's Gunsight Notch on the right, and then the La Madre Mountains ridgeline right through that opening. And then tracing our way, we've got Bridge Mountain. And the Rainbow Mountains upper Crest Ridgeline. And now we're on a ledge. Greg's going around the corner. And by a ledge, this is what I mean. We came up that loose rocky section below. Closest thing I've seen to an actual path. Who knows how long it will last. And guess what? There's our old friend, Damsel Peak. Okay, continuing along this ledge. There are cairns here. Another crack.
Sir.
There's John. Working his way up. Yes, there are cairns. Okay. Any words of wisdom up there?
Dang, stay alive.
Thanks for the encouragement. Okay. Just checking in at this point. It's Bridge Mountain. See a lot of the Rainbow Mountains, upper Crest Ridgeline. And this is when we came up. My body is totally exhausted. Hopefully we're near the summit here.
Mile and a half.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm just kidding. About 50 yards and we'll be on the summit plateau.
Okay, 50 yards
Summit plateau.
to the summit plateau. 50 yards past John.
Right up this exposed ledge. Except it's not really exposed, but great views.
Okay, John's going to describe where we are, where we came from, and where we're looking to go. Go ahead, John.
Okay. Well, we came from Pine Creek, and now we just came up that last slab, that ledge that Dave's showing you. And Rainbow Wall is to the right. The big white. You gotta turn around a lot. And then we're gonna go make a loop out of it and come down Oak Creek rather than going down all these cracks and chutes again. Because it's just seems a little safer option. We need to try and find some water first.
Okay, sounds good. Let's see what happens. We're looking at the saddle between the Rainbow Mountains upper Crest Ridgeline on the horizon and where we are standing now. This is the Rainbow Mountain saddle. And on the horizon is the upper Crest Ridgeline. And guess what? There's a shot of Griffith Peak. Griffith Peak. Bridge Mountain. Here we are searching for cairns. We're close to the summit of Rainbow Mountain in that basic area. And there's Mount Wilson. And this should begin our downhill long as we can keep it fairly gradual, as opposed to jumping over the edge of something.
Here's a cairn.
So we found a little path, and cairns heading down in this direction from up there. So we have reason to believe we're at least on a path that's going somewhere. Okay, we've been following the cairn path along this saddle, it's Rainbow Mountain saddle, and I think at some point it's going to circle around and go down Oak Creek Canyon. That's the hope. Beautiful little gardens up here on these ledges. John saw a family of bighorn sheep not long ago. Following the cairn path, down we go. Okay, continuing along the trail, but look at the view here. Rainbow Mountain's upper Crest Ridgeline, Mount Wilson, and our goal, getting down to Oak Creek Canyon. We're all running out of water, so looking for a little stream. And Greg's got a water purification system. That's where we came down. And continuing along this nice little trail with the anticipation that this is going to lead us down into Oak Creek Canyon, and then from there back down to the base of Oak Creek Canyon. Red Rock Canyon Scenic Drive, so near and so far. And this little trail continuing downward toward Oak Creek Canyon. This is the nicest pathway we've had all day. So it looks like the ascent from Pine Creek Canyon involves a lot of rock climbing. The descent down to Oak Creek Canyon, and by virtue of that fact, the ascent up from Oak Creek Canyon, it would be the North Fork, involves less rock climbing, and you can actually get to Rainbow Wall through Oak Creek Canyon. Easier than from Pine Creek Canyon. Okay, continuing down, and we're hoping that those trees below are easy to arrive at, and then continue. We take a left down Oak Creek Canyon at the trees. Let's find out. And then just an idea where we've come down from this area. We're taking this little smooth wash downward, and you can see Mount Wilson and the Rainbow Mountains upper Crest Ridgeline, and that's that traverse from the upper Crest Ridgeline to the Wilson Saddle from this perspective. Okay, we just came down this, and now we've hit a trail in the wash. Nice, nice. And good news, we have struck water. And Greg has a filter. So maybe our water problems are over. Continuing down the North Fork of Pine Creek Canyon. We should be some point to where it splits. And the two forks, north and south, join. And then there's some significant bouldering. And the goal has been keep your feet dry, which we have done, having come down from that area above. Beautiful creek, sound of frogs, cool, but we're losing the light soon.